there ain't no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to cross.
I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get to glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
What's happening, people? Welcome to Tottenham Away. It's Friday. The weekend is almost upon us. Hopefully, everyone can sit back, kick back, relax, enjoy the weekend that's coming up. There is an FA Cup final tomorrow, which does give us some football to enjoy watching, hopefully. And on Sunday, the under-21s are in the Premier Second Division Cup final at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So if you can get access to that, definitely worth watching, see how the youngsters go. But other than that, smash the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Matt, how you doing, my man? You good?
Yes, though. I'm good. There's an apology for doubting Tottenham's ability to win the match against Sheffield United.
Oh yeah.
I was yes.
I forgot.
Yes. Let's get that out the way. I basically, as you know, kind of was genuinely worried about that fixture. You know, it just had the blueprint, the hallmark of Spurs doing what Spurs do, you know, and Chelsea coming from nowhere.
Do you know what? I just couldn't get around around my head how a team that's conceded over 100 goals doesn't even score on average 1 goal a game was going to beat us. That for me was like, this is not happening. But you were so confident. I just thought you lost your mind for a bit. I thought you lost it.
Stal, listen, I've been following Tottenham for 50 years, and there was no way Tottenham would lose to Portsmouth, who were in administration. Yeah, the semi-final of FA Cup, if you remember, Jamie O'Hara was on loan. We had all the stars in the team. We lost that match. Lukaku and so on and so on destroyed us. I've been there too many times, and I just had this feeling it's in the script. Chelsea come from nowhere and finish 5th. We finished 6th. Newcastle away. Benitez had been relegated 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah, but this was Nottingham Forest. This was Sheffield United. Sheffield United away. It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen. If it was Forest away, or a Palace away, I would have been worried, because that's the kind of banana skin. But Sheffield are terrible. They're awful.
Yeah, but still, be real. First 15 minutes, we worried.
First 10 minutes, I thought, no, don't do this, Tottenham. Don't do this, because Sheffield played quite well. They got into us, but
they had good chances still in that first 10, 15
minutes.
They
did. But so did we. We had one as well, I think. But anyway, look, Spurs won 3-0. Let's quickly tell us everyone in the chat. Big up Eugene, Alex Scott Experience, Mapping, Rodriguez, Sammy, Rob, big up Billy, big up George, big up Harmless Potato, Cold Shot in the house, Wayne Francois, the Bertie Hotspur, Ryan's in the building. We've got John Fitzpatrick, Anthony Clark, big up, Benjamin, Ken T, hope you're doing well, Bill, Moti HFC, Perchy, what a surprise visit. Welcome to the show, Perchy. Moti HFC, International Observer in the building. The multi-channel Zafaguna, Dino, aka Stixie. Hope you're doing well, Dean. 100 people in the building, smash a like. Welcome. So, before we... Oh, Rooty Tooty. Just squeezed you in there, mate. Before we get into the Spurs stuff, I just want to talk about a couple of non-Spurs stuff, because this is a football talk show. We do like to talk about things that kind of not linked to Spurs, but has an impact, almost a relation as to what we're doing next or where we've come from, whatnot. I'll quickly want to talk about the Europa Cup final, because we're going to be in this tournament this year. Atalanta, against all the odds, battered by Leverkusen. By Leverkusen's first loss of the season. And off the back of that, I have to say, Gasperini, what a fantastic job he's done as manager. I think he's already been in 3 cup finals before that, been unlucky in those cup finals in Italy, should have won maybe another trophy, but Atalanta's first ever European trophy, a trophy that we won the old version, the UEFA Cup. We haven't won the new version, the Europa Cup. This is a competition we're in. Looking at the quality of the teams in that final, this isn't a competition we can just take lightly. There's good teams that play in this competition. And off the back of it, Matt, everyone's saying, oh, sign Lookman. You've got to sign Lookman now. Look, Matt, just quickly, what did you think of that final? Gasperini, hats off to the guy, man. Brilliant.
Yeah, and he's just experienced.
Spend, Matt, over the last 8 years is under 200 million over 8 years. Always having to sell their best players, replenish. Yeah, he's got them, man. He's got them in.
If my memory serves me right, Dragusin is Atlanta as well, isn't he? Romero.
That's right.
Romero's Atlanta. Hoyland, Man United centre forward. So their recruitment team is exceptional. What they get for their return is incredible. Yeah, unbelievable footballer, football club. Sorry, unbelievable manager, and a really good advert. A really it was kind of Leverkusen were the overwhelming favourite because of their form, but Atlanta just had this steel. They just had this purpose about them in the game that they were winning, regardless of what the circumstances. They just had that efficiency about them, and they never let them off the hook.
Do you know what? I just think they're tactically set up to beat oppositions, and I feel that their work rate defensively on the ball to shut you down, to congest the play, to get their tackles in. I just think they just work damn hard. And do you know something? 2 years ago, I said to Cheyenne, do you know who Cheyenne is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shy, for those of you watching, Cheyenne was one of the original Tottenham Away co-hosts when we started 3 years ago. I said to Cheyenne, 2 years ago, I said to him, Cheyenne, we should go and try and get some of the attacking forwards from Atalanta. He goes, Atalanta? I said, go and watch Atalanta. They're a really good team. They're going below the radar. Yeah. No one's talking about them. And he went and watched. He said, mate, yeah, they look pretty decent. I said, listen, pluck a couple of those players, put them at Spurs in the attacking lineup. Can't go too far wrong. Anyway, we didn't really speak much about that because we were in the whole Jose out, Conte in, Nuno in. It was just that overtook any conversation about transfers. 2 years later, different attacking lineup, same manager, they win the Europa Cup. So I was aware of Atalanta 2 years ago. But that team's changed a bit since then because, like I say, they lose their best players all the time. But listen, I think Gasperini, he's a top manager. And he's it's strange because he's come good at the latter stage of his management career. He's not one of these Xavi Alonso's, De Zerbi's, Poch's, Arteta's who make a name for themselves at younger age. This guy's an old man and he's doing the bits.
I think it's just a really good demonstration of if you have a clear plan. You know, Atlanta have this DNA of how they set the teams up. They buy players who have either been to the bigger clubs in Italy and for whatever reason haven't kind of made it at Juventus or AC Milan or whatever. They take them in, give them their debut, give them their moment, and they blossom. So I think it's a really good indicator of if you have a manager and you persist with that manager, you back that manager, and you support that manager over season after season. You know, the personnel may change, but the pattern of play and the way that they set up remains the same. So yeah, I really like him. He's just unassuming. You know, he doesn't seem to cause too much controversy on the sidelines, and he just gets on with his job, just like Atlanta. You know, no frills. Even you look at their kit's quite understated. You know, it's just they're just a very efficient football club at what they do. And Edison, for example, I just don't understand why football clubs haven't signed him earlier. What a footballer he is.
I love that. Just look at their kits.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's just a basic kit. Have you seen it? It's like what you'd buy for your Sunday league team.
They wear Joma.
It's
Joma.
just a real basic.
It's not Nike, it's not Reebok, it's not Adidas, it's not even Under Armour. It's Joma. Joma's what you wear down the Hackney Marsh Sunday League. Yeah. Sunday League. Yeah. Do you know something?
They're just basic.
Do you know what I like about Atalanta winning the Europa Cup? It's not just it's a bit of an underdog story and it's a breath of fresh air for football, but it just goes to show. I think that should be the pathway for Spurs. I think we're trying to sprint before we can even walk. You know, talks of league titles, Champions League, just shut it down. For me, I like what Atalanta have done. They've gotten to a couple of domestic cup finals in Italy. Okay, they lost them, but they kept getting to those finals. And you know what? You get to a final. If you keep getting to finals, then they get to a European Cup final. They win that one. And yeah, they've got the experience. They've got the taste. And it's that whole process of you've got to keep knocking on the door. If you take your foot off the gas, you completely fall off. And I think that's what Spurs should do, because with Poch, we were knocking on the door, then we took our foot off the gas, and it was like, oh no.
And I think
that's the model I think we should follow, Matt. Go for the Carabao Cup,
blueprint.
Go for the Europa Cup. The league is the league. The Champions League, we're not in it. Just go for those lower level trophies and be the king at your level before you try and be the king of the world. You know,
if you look at where Tottenham had a sustained period of knocking on the door, we were unfancied. We weren't talked about. That Poch teams, it crept up on people. It just, all of a sudden, Kyle Walker became wow. All of a sudden, Danny Rose was like, it was almost like a
Dele Alli,
recipe.
Kim Min-son, Harry Kane.
They just sneaked up. You know, Moussa Dembele came from Fulham. There was no big paparazzi, and all of a sudden, we had 6 or 7 players that came to the boil at the same time. It was like a master recipe that kind of, you didn't even know the title of the meal. It just arrived, you know. And you know, Christian Eriksen kind of was talked about but not talked about. And then all of a sudden, you've got 5 or 6 players, all 22, 23, sprinkled in with the Toby and a Vertonghen, and you've almost got a masterpiece. The just crying shame is we never got over the line in one of those semi-finals or finals, because that 2 or 3 year spell, we was as good as most.
I always felt under Poch we were 2 or 3 players short on the bench, because the Ben Davies, the Eric Dyers, the NGs, the
Kevin Wimmer.
Oh my goodness me, Kevin Wimmer. You know, the drop-off was so big. But look, is what it is. We're in the competition next year. Hopefully we take it seriously. The next thing I wanted to chat to you quickly about, Matt, before we get on to Spurs. Pochettino leaving Spurs. Chelsea. Right. I was surprised by this, because the way they finished the season, I thought he was just beginning to get the fans on board. The players all liked him. And I thought, he's building. This is exactly what I saw at Spurs. Finished strong first season at Spurs. And you and I had a debate last week, and I had an argument with the boys on Tottenham away for the last 3 weeks, where I was saying for a while, I think Poch has done a better job than Ange. Okay, we had a back and forth. Opinions are opinions. But check this out. This is a breakdown of all the managers under this new ownership of Todd Bowley and their win rate. Pochettino has got the highest win rate of Tuchel, Potter. I think Salter was only there for 1 game. Frank Lampard, he outdid them all. In fairness, he had the biggest sample size because he was there for the most amount of games. But a 51% success rate is not bad at all. Outdid Tuchel, outdid Potter, outdid them all. So to sack him, I think Chelsea are beyond deranged. I think they're a shit show of a football club. In some ways, I'm glad they've parted ways, because I never wanted Poch to be successful there. That would have killed me. I've always liked Poch. I'd have Poch back at Spurs if ever the opportunity arose one day. But, man, what are they doing, man? Like, we should be celebrating this. We should be celebrating that they will probably have another bad season next year, like they did the year before where they finished 12th. But Poch got them to a cup final, got them to an FA Cup semi-final, got them back into Europe, finished 3 points below Spurs, beat Spurs twice this year, and he's gone. It's over.
Yeah, for me, Stella, I think it's a combination of reasons. I think it was always going to be a tough sell. He's an ex-Tottenham manager. So for the hardcore Chelsea fans, he's always going to be an ex-Spurs manager. So when you lose a football match, that's the Tottenham in him. When he wins a football match. So he was always on a short plank for me. Number 2, I think the little snippets I've kind of got is that there were some conversations about homegrown. and who is staying and who's going. And I think the Conor Gallagher.
Matt, sorry to interrupt
Well,
you. Do you think he learned a very tough lesson at Spurs under Levy, and that's why he's where he's at now, where he senses a repetition of what happened at Spurs, lack of control over transfers, not maybe getting the kind of backing he wants, and he's taken that learning and now said to these owners, I'm not doing this. I've been through this before in the past. Do you think some of that comes into play here?
I think he's at a certain level now as a manager. He's got a certain amount of stripes that I think he feels comfortable enough to walk away. I think if you look at his CV before, which was Espanyol and Southampton, I don't think he would have done that. I think he would have stayed there unless it wasn't by mutual consent. But I think because of his spell at Tottenham and because of his spell at PSG, I think he's got enough. He feels he's got enough money in the bank to be able to walk away from Chelsea and not damage his ability to get another top job going forward. So I think he's not stupid, and I think he knows that he will never get the full buy-in from the fans, and that must be a difficult gig still when you're a manager and it's not that you're a manager and you're getting booed by the fans, because that comes with the job, but I think it's a deeper resentment because he's an ex-Tottenham manager.
Do you think it's a smart? Do you think it's a smart move, Matt? Because he's kind of left Chelsea on a bit of a high. Like when I look at the neutral fans' response to this, the general feeling is the club, the owners are idiots. Why would you do that? The general media response is, but why would you allow this to happen? Surely you'd want to keep Poch. Looking at the players' response on social media, I think Poch has actually timed this quite well as well. He's kind of come out of this not looking bad, in my view, from what I've seen.
This is what I mean. I'm talking about his credibility. So had he have left Christmas or the 6-0 Arsenal
finished,
then that's a difficult that's a CV problem. Whereas now he's kind of turned the ship around, got it back on course, kind of got them 6 and said, that'll do me. So I think he's probably going to say, you know what? Who else goes into Chelsea is going to encounter the same problems I've got. And he's still got a big enough name. I'm not sure what's happening with Man United. I'm sure we'll get onto that. But it wouldn't surprise me if he's in the conversation for the Man United job.
That was my next question, actually. Where do you think he'll end up? Because the breaking news today is that apparently Man United are going to sack Ten Hag after the cup final. How Spursy is that to announce it before the cup final? I mean, they're not as good as us because we sacked the manager before the cup final. But if you're Ten Hag, what motivation have you got going to that final? If anything, you're thinking, I couldn't care less now.
No, I still think he's a professional style, and I still think he'll want almost what we've just said about Pochettino. I think he'll want to prove a point. If the rumours are true that this is his last game tomorrow, so I think he'll want that on his CV to say FA Cup winner. I never understood that appointment. I didn't see that as a Man United. When you manage Man United, you've got to have a certain level of balls, you know, and it just to me doesn't come across as assertive enough. I just imagine some of them players would question him. Some players in that dressing room are going to think, I'm not having this guy, you know, and you've got to command that respect from your squad. And I'm not sure all of them bought into him from day one.
Well, we will see what happens next with Pochettino. So, on to Spurs. I never got a chance to ask you this question because you weren't on our Monday show. So I'm going to ask you now, Matt. I've got a few things I want to talk about Spurs today. In your opinion, have Spurs improved? Now, The reason I ask this is because before the season started, Paul Merson, our favourite fan, he said 100% they're a bottom half team without Harry Kane. And we finished 5th. But it's not something new for Paul Merson to be in the mud with a comment that he makes about Spurs. He's quite consistent at making himself look like a bit of a dumbass. But let's have it right. A lot of us Spurs fans, we also said, Kane's gone. If we get 8th, that's a good season. And then when you look at last year compared to this year, we've won more games, well, 2 more. We've lost 2 less. We've got 6 points more. We've scored 4 goals more. We've conceded 2 goals less. We've got 3 less clean sheets. Possession is up as well. So we're not massively or this big difference. It's almost the same, Matt. Other than possession, that's the only big difference. Possession, I say, possession stats is the only thing that's marginally different. But last year we had 2 games a week, and we went a bit further in the cups. This year we had 1 game a week, crashed out of all the cups early doors. We had Harry Kane last year, but we also had Dyer, Longley, Chicken Royale, Ben Davies, Hugo as a defence. Now we've got Vertonghen, Udogie, Porro, Vicario. So Van de Ven, bloody hell, how did I miss him out? So some say we've got a better squad now and we're playing less games. We should have done better. Overall, my view, Matt, is I don't think we've improved, but I don't think we've regressed. I think we've flatlined. I think we're the same. When you put everything into the mix, number of games played, cup competitions, signings, players that have come in, players that have gone, the fact that we had we managed to get in Dragusin in the January window, which assisted us at some stage during this season. What do you make of it? Do you think we've improved? Do you think we've regressed? Do you think it's similar? I personally think it's I think it's the same.
For me, still, there's a little bit more to it. There's been a clear and distinct change in how Tottenham set themselves up. We've gone from a 3 at the back to 4-4-4 and a diamond in midfield and so forth. So the formation is different. We play higher up the pitch, so we try and condense the game. We try and play in the opposition's half. So there was a clear, different style of how we play. We've also got a manager that's going to be there for season 2, which we haven't had since the 2018-2019 season. And I'm going to get onto what I'm going to get onto why I think that will bear fruit in season 2 and season 3, because we've now got the same screenwriter for the sequel. So there's a continuity into how this is going to play out. So I would like to think the question, have we improved? On paper, it's much of a muchness. But we've now got a clear direction of how they want to play the game, which is most important, because not only does the manager want to play a certain way, but all the interviews and all the stuff I'm reading and hearing, the players like playing that type of football, which wasn't the case last season. So I think we're in better shape, but the numbers and the stats and the data doesn't necessarily prove that at the moment. But the eye test looks better than the data.
The eye test looks better than the data. What do you mean by that?
Actually, how they're playing. So how they're in sync with how the manager wants them to play. Last season, the players clearly didn't want to play that way. Romero didn't want to play that way. Porro didn't want to play that way. And that caused, in my opinion, cracks in the season as it went on, when you've got seasoned, experienced footballers that don't want to play the way the manager wants them to play, which is Antonio Conte.
All right, let me show you some other stats from this season. We've only had 2 clean sheets in the last 27 games, 12 defeats,
Yep.
1 away win this year, out of both the Cups early round. Set pieces has been a big issue. Over the last 27 games, we would have finished 11th. Since the 1st of January, our form would have had us 16th in the league table. That is classed as a collapse. Yeah, we finished 5th. Yeah, we finished 5th because of that brilliant start to the season. So
absolutely,
have we really progressed, Matt? When you look at that,
as I say, the data suggests no. But what I'm trying to say is, if you change your system, if you change how you ask your players to play, there is no immediate success with that change, because we've gone from a low block defensive team to a team that plays higher up the pitch, and you've got players that are now adjusting to how that is being played. And as the season's gone on, with the injuries and the lack of depth, it has caused continual problems in Tottenham's performances and results as the season's gone on. But I would like to think a year into this progress, this will click. This will make more sense to the players. It will almost become a muscle memory. So they'll be able to make less errors. They'll be more consistent in how they actually set themselves up and how they play. They won't give the ball away as often as they do. Will be a little bit more solid. And that's what I'm expecting Ange. This isn't the players. This is on Ange. I'm expecting Ange to tweak this a little bit so we don't have people that empty the midfield every time we're on the ball. I'm hoping somebody says, whoever that midfielder is, just sit in there. Just look at the game of sitting there. Not all of you keep going beyond the ball, keep chasing the ball. One of you sit in there and look at the game. Just be that insurance blanket for me. At the moment, all 3 midfielders chase the ball. And when we lose the ball, we're in trouble. 2 or 3 passes, they're either having a shot at our goal or it's in the back of our net. So I'm hoping Ange will tweak that a little bit, and the players will be better, more experienced in what is being asked of them, and also the recruitment will be better as well.
So I agree in terms of establishing a way of playing, the whole muscle memory. In coaching, we call it repetition of the practice. I agree with all that. I do. But where I think we've improved is on what you've said. We've established a style. This is how we're going to play it. We're sticking with it. And the fact we're back in Europe, we finished 5th. That's progression. But where I see regression is, I don't think the transfers have improved at all. I think it's more of the same. You know how I feel about Brennan Johnson and Richarlison, and
no, I've never heard.
Timo Werner.
What's your opinion on Brennan Johnson?
I think he's outstanding, Ballon d'Or winner in the making. Yeah, so I'm not impressed by our transfers. 1 or 2 I think have been good. The rest very underwhelming. So on that side, that hasn't improved. I do question the manager's inability to adapt tactically quicker, and I do question what we're going to do going forward. So this is why I'm on the fence with it. I'm not against it, but I'm not with it. I need to see something a lot more than what I've seen. I found this season very underwhelming, if I'm honest with you, Matt. I haven't really enjoyed the football. I haven't sat there and said, you know what, I'm really enjoying this game of football. What I found is, after 10 games, I began to say, all right, well, look, it's going to be a bit of a rough patch now because of these injuries and suspensions. So I'm not expecting fireworks, because Dyer's back in the squad, Chicken Morale's back in, Ben Davies back in, Skip and Højbjerg a double pivot. I don't expect anything. I don't blame the manager. But after January, when players are all back, I just saw this decline, this regression, and I felt, like, what's happened to us? So I'm not against it, but I haven't I see the way Chelsea finished the season, and I see Chelsea getting into finals. I'm like, I kind of expected that. I expected us to do well in at least one cup competition and finish the season strong. Instead, we crashed out the cups and we finished the season badly. If it was flipped, I'd be saying a different thing here. If it was the other way around, I'd say if we finished the season the way we started it and we went to a quarter final or a semi final of the cup, I would have said, do you know what? We've progressed. But I just can't say it, man. So I'm kind of stuck on the fence.
No, listen, I understand. I understand that there's been some real poor performances, terrible performances. But I think that is part of this change. If we had another Nuno that came in after Conte, or if we had another Tony Pulis or Sam Allardyce that came in after, and it was the same, then I would be a little bit more worried, because it's the same system, it's the same style of manager, and we're still not performing. But at least I can see these managers come in who's attack-minded, maybe a little bit too attack-minded with some of the players he's got, i.e. playing Emerson Royal at left-back or playing Oliver Skip at left-back. Those are the worrying parts for me. So I'm not totally blindsided that Angie's doing everything right because he's making mistakes. I accept that. Yeah. But what I'm saying is he getting more things right than wrong for me? And I think, yes. Huge handicap in Harry Kane leaving 2 days before the season starts. Huge obstacle.
That you can't blame him for what he's had to deal with.
Huge obstacle.
And I think we undervalue the importance of that, because every manager before him, from Poch onwards, they all had the benefit of Harry Kane. This is the first manager in 9 years that hasn't, 8 years or something like that hasn't had a Kane.
You've had Kane and Son. So rain or shine, those guys get you out of trouble. Over 38 games.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They get you out of trouble. So I listen. I understand. I know box office has kind of questioned my sanity in what I'm saying, but all I'm trying to demonstrate is that if you look at what was in the in tray and what was in the out tray when he joined, there was a lot in the out tray, in regards to things that he had to fix. A lot of things he had to fix in a very short window, fly off to Australia, have, in my opinion, a terrible pre-season with planning and preparation and actual match fixtures. Don't forget, Van der Ven signed 3 days before the season started. You know, it was a miracle style. We started as well as we did. You know, because who would have guessed Van der Ven would have started so well? Don't forget, Vicario's first or second pre-season, people were going on streams questioning Vicario. Don't forget, he looked. People saying,
No, I was one of those fans that was upset we didn't sign Raya, and I said, what have we done? So you know.
And
I think a lot of us fans were in that boat, if we're honest about it. A lot of us.
Yeah. A lot of people were saying, who's this Adoji? You know, we signed this kid. Almost like people are talking about Valise. We've signed this kid from abroad. We've sent him out on loan. Who on earth is this kid?
No, you see, this was a bit different because Adogi was doing bits at Udinese. He was actually looking like a very good attacking wing back. He actually looked like there was something there, because the same when we signed Porro, I remember Charlie on our channel before we signed Porro, he said, I hope we sign Porro. He looks perfect for us. Like, he identified him. And we had a look at Porro. We knew about him before he came, and he did look good. And then when we played Sporting Lisbon, when Conte was the manager, we played Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League. Porro ripped us. So we knew a bit about Porro and Adogi. But Veliz, let's be honest, we know nothing about this guy.
But what I'm saying is, when Porro came in under Conte, people say it's one of the worst debuts they've seen in a Spurs shirt against Leicester, if you remember.
Oh, right, debut. Okay, yeah, it was. It was average.
So,
it was very average.
So the point I'm making is, we went into the start of this season with more questions than answers. You know, who's Adoji? Can he cut it in the Premier League? He's a wing back. We're now playing 4 at the back. What on earth are we doing? Who's Vicario? We had Raya in the bag. Who's Vicario? Van der Ven we signed 3 days before the season starts. We've lost Mr. Magic, Mr. Football in Harry Kane 3 days before the season starts. Who's Ange? Never managed in the Premier League. We could be in trouble here. We could be in big trouble.
I think the thing was though, Matt, like we were able to spend money that other clubs couldn't. We spent a lot of money. We spent £230 million in a season. Yeah. It's the most we've ever spent in any one season. And
recouped about 117 million.
Yeah, net's probably about 120. But the point is, we were able to do these things where other clubs were unable. Even Arsenal and United were struggling to sign players in January. So we had more tools to push the team forward. And on top of that, we were the only team in the top 10 other than Chelsea that had no European football. So we were able to imagine after that Chelsea 4-1 loss. Imagine we had Europe, Matt. Imagine
Very
Europe
in
the middle of that.
Just
Ange didn't have to deal with that. Ange didn't have to juggle that. Yeah, go on.
But do remember, Stel, we've both been supporting Spurs for a long time, and we've all been Spurs fans since Daniel Levy's been in charge. Levy buys in distress. He makes signings when we're on our knees. Had we finished second or third,
get us back up to top four. Yeah, I know.
Had we finished second or third, he wouldn't have spent 220 million. The only reason he spent that amount of money is fans were going for his throat. The websites were absolutely in disarray with him. He was on his knees. So again, I think we have to be accurate with, yes, we spent 200 something million, but he had to. He had to, because his PR people must have been saying, listen, we are in deep doo-doo here.
Especially after selling Kane.
Exactly. So he had to. He had to do something. So I'm not buying. I'm not one of those that subscribe to, we spent 220 million, so we should have been doing okay. We were in ground zero. We were in an absolute mess. So that was a kind of a rescue. It was a rescue.
It was the most toxic I've seen it at Spurs under Levy.
Of course.
There's no doubt. It was the most toxic.
Of course.
We've ever seen.
And he must have thought, phew, when we had that start, he must have thought, I'm the luckiest man alive. I've gone from zero to hero with some of the fan base in 2 months. Tell you what, PR machine, get me a forum. Get me a fans forum now. He did it exactly the right time. Exactly the right time. So, look, again, that's why I say about have we progressed. I think we have to be mindful of all of the circumstances when we answer that question. And I think
this is why
we've all... Sorry, go on. No, go on.
No, finish what you're saying. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, with all the obstacles that we had coming into this season, a lot of football experts had us down for mid-table. Don't forget, Son had one of his worst seasons last season.
But they also thought that Chelsea, Brighton, Newcastle, Man United would push on. That's why. And they didn't. They struggled with injuries in Europe. Chelsea are just a joke of a club. They're struggling just being Chelsea at the moment. So,
yes.
See, but this is the thing, Matt. When you put all the variables in, this is why I feel we haven't progressed, but I don't think we've regressed. I think we've just flatlined. We've just stabilized. We're just a steady Eddie now.
Yeah, but again, what can't be overlooked, Stel, is we've got a manager that's a year wiser.
Yeah, but don't you find it a bit of a cheek when he bangs on about winning and that we should have a winning mentality, and that he was unhappy with the whole atmosphere and environment building up to the Man City game, but yet he did what he did in the Carabao Cup. Like, my man, if you're serious about winning, put your best players out and win the Carabao Cup game. Instead, you made 9 changes And the deciding penalty, you gave it to a player who you're selling 2 days later. You're not a winner in my eyes. You talk a good game, but if you're a winner, you don't do that. Mourinho wouldn't have done that. Conte wouldn't have done that. I don't think many managers would have done that. But yet, he's telling me, come end of the season, you've got it wrong, Spurs fan. No, mate, you've got it wrong. So when I factor that in as well, Matt, this is why I'm not saying we've progressed, but I'm not saying we've regressed. I just feel like we're kind of there.
Yeah, look, he's made mistakes, you know, and I think he's obviously not probably going to admit it each and every time, but he's made mistakes, you know. The sale of Sanchez, whether we like Sanchez or not, you sell Sanchez a week after the English transfer window closes and you can't bring a player in. And then something ridiculous like 2 weeks later, we get the Van der Ven injury and we get the Romero suspension and we're down to Ben Davies. And he then later admitted that was a mistake to sell Sanchez. So he has made mistakes, Stal. And look, I value every opinion. I value every person's opinion on football and especially Tottenham. And I welcome people that critique. I'm not one of those that say you can't critique him and, you know, back him. No, if you give praise, you've also got to be able to analyse when they've made a mistake. The sale of Sanchez was a mistake. The squad that he picked for the Fulham Carabao Cup was a mistake.
Can I be honest with you? I'm not bothered we sold Sanchez because I was sick to death of players like that being at my club. In fact, if we sold Ben Davies, Emerson and Sanchez and we were left short, I would have preferred that. Because I just watching them play football at this club is
do you know the most
it's harming my eyes and it's hurting my brain.
I agree. I 100% agree. But if you have a style of football that Sanchez would be remotely effective in, it's Ange football. Because the one thing Sanchez can do is run. It's the one thing he can do. And if my memory serves me right, didn't he get man of the match? There's
got to be some productivity at the end of that running. He's the kind of player that would run them fall over.
No, listen, he's not the answer, Stab. But what I'm saying is, his style of football, his asset is he's very quick and he's mobile. And if my memory serves me right, didn't he get man of the match against Barcelona in the pre-season friendly?
Do you know that first half? I was talking to Sean about this as well. That first half against Barcelona was the best football I've seen Spurs play this entire season. That first half against Barcelona, I thought we were brilliant. Yeah. I thought we were so good.
Sanchez, for me, could have been sold 2 years before. I'm not a Sanchez fan, but what I'm saying is, surely you cannot sell. If you sell him in July, goes with my wish, bring somebody in. The fact that we sold him still after our transfer window ended and you can't bring anybody in, for me, that was a major error. Major error. Especially when you're not going to use Eric Dyer and especially when you're not going to use Ashley Phillips. It made no sense to me.
By the way, big up to Ashley Phillips. We beat Newcastle 2-0. Sorry, what am I talking about? We drew with Newcastle 1-1. We lost on penalties in that marketing PR experiment in Australia. A lot of the kids come on for both teams.
I missed the game.
Listen, Tyrese Hall, Alfie Devine look good. But I have to say, in terms of a player that stood out for me, that deserves first team football, at least to be on that bench, Ashley Phillips, he pleasantly surprised me. I can't really go off that one game, but composed, comfortable on the ball, wanted the ball, happy to progress the play forward, clean passing, simple passing, reads the game well, got in the right place to block, got in the right place to intercept. All the attributes I would look for from a centre half in the modern game, he showed me the fundamentals. And I thought the beautiful thing about him is he's got the stature and he's calm. And I thought, there's a player here. If I was scouting, the things I would look for that type of role, I saw the fundamentals. He's the kind of player I would recommend to a club. Bring him in, put him on trial. Bring him in.
So my
that's big coming from me because I'm very quick to critique. because I haven't been impressed by a lot of our youngsters this season, if I'm honest with you. But he in that game showed me a few things that I thought there's a player here. Look, he's going to make big mistakes. He's going to screw up. It's part of the process.
I think
But
he's
there's
just
a
turned
player
19.
here.
I think he's
Yeah,
just
but-
turned 19. But my
Yeah.
obviously living in Birmingham, my friend's a coach at Birmingham City, and he phoned me up, gosh, 3-4 months ago, and he said Tony Mowbray said to him, Tottenham have got a kid, because obviously Mowbray managed him at Blackburn, and said Tottenham have got a kid, in Tony Mowbray's words, that will play for England. That's how high Tony Mowbray rated him. Said that kid will play for England.
Mate, he like I say, like with youngsters, I'm very careful because I know the process and I know what it takes to go from there to there. And that bridge is a tough bridge to cross. But the fundamentals of what you look for them to make that leap, I see it in him. It's there. It's what happens next regarding opportunity,
the development.
His personal development. Another player, actually, that I have to say has caught my attention, and Graham and I have been speaking about him a fair bit. Right, he's not Gascoigne. I'm not trying to say he's Gaza, but he's got Gaza swag. I'm telling you, is Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore.
Really?
Mikey Moore, Matt, on the ball. This boy's he's a baller.
Is he still play further forward though? Where's he play?
He's like an 8/10.
Okay.
But he's an under 16. I think he's turning 17. Under 18, sorry. He's an under 18. But listen, I'm going to repeat what Graham said to me because I agree with him. And I don't want to steal his words because he put it better than I did. He is going to be a good player somewhere one day. Whether it's with us or not, I don't know. There's a baller there, a proper baller. Beat one player, beat two players, kill a pass, finish. He can play football. I think the pace of the Premier League's too much for him. He's not ready for that level of intensity. But in 2-3 years' time, I think Spurs have got a really, really good player on their hands there. Really good. But again, a lot can happen in 3 years. You get an injury that puts you out 3 years, stunts your development. Your
Dixon. Who was the kid we had? Remember Dixon? You know? Who was the young superstar we had? I'm going to say something Dixon. Centre forward, and he was the world at his feet, and he retired. He had a really bad knee injury. I can't remember his first name. Something Dixon. About 6-7 years ago. I think he's retired now, and he's about 24. So yeah, you've got to be lucky with injuries, but the fact that he's training with the first team is a good sign. Terry Dixon, that's the name. Terry Dixon had the world at his feet.
That's why you can never get too carried away. Do you remember 2 years ago, everyone was saying Dane Scarlett, the Harry Kane replacement. And I remember saying to people, relax. He's a kid. Don't do this. You know, I've seen it happen. Fans are a bit like parents. They see something half good. They think it's much bigger than what it is. You've got to let it play out, especially with youth. You've got to let it play out. So, yeah, look, there's some promising players there. Hopefully, we see something a bit.
As long as it wasn't the Newcastle, can you imagine our fan base if we got beat 8-0? Do you see the Newcastle result earlier today?
No.
Newcastle played an all-star Australian team and got beat 8-0.
By the Australians?
Yeah.
Did they play a lot of kids though? Newcastle, or was it?
Yes. It was a mix. It was a mix. But what I'm saying is, could you imagine our fan base had we have played the Phillipses and played all these youngsters?
Ange out. Levy out.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to get onto transfers. Look, I actually hate transfers because you don't know what to believe. But, Matt, I'm a bit concerned. I'm going to say it. I'm a bit concerned, right?
Go on.
Your words. All fans, Spurs fans, this summer, we've got Hawkeyes, eagle eyes on this transfer window.
Absolutely.
We've always said every year this is the one. No, this is the window. No, if it doesn't happen now, I'm done.
Yeah.
No, this is the final roll of the dice, the last spin of the wheel, the last flip of the coin, and we're doing it again. But I actually believe that this really will be Judgment Day, because I don't see any way Levy, Ange, fans can make any more excuses after this summer. We can't, otherwise, we're going to end up sacking Ange, or he'll be gone halfway during the season, right? But the players I'm seeing us linked with, Matt, I'm worried, okay? None of these players, right? Not a single one of these players excites me. I don't want Callum Hudson-Odoi here. Conor Gallagher, honestly, is he that much of an improvement? Dominic Solanke, not for me. Timo Werner, you know how I feel. Chabala, I mean, and we're hearing Forest are going to be forced to sell players. This stinks of a Levy shopping spree. We're being told Hudson-Odoi, Tottenham won him. Timo Werner, Ange was asked about him. He said, I think from our perspective, there's a deadline there. A lot will depend on the negotiations between the clubs. Again, I'm comfortable with the situation. I will let the other guys steer it as to what kind of outcome there is. That stinks of a yes man, by the way, Matt. I will let the others steer it to the outcome. No, you should say, I want him. Get it done. Don't you dare sign him. Doesn't work for me. Not, I will let the others steer it. That is my biggest concern, Matt. That Ange is going to be a yes man. And he's going to accept players that sounds great for the financial advisors and for the investment bankers. Sounds good for the media representatives that are going to go on TV and say, good bit of business, low risk. But when it comes down to reality, we're going to get this. Timo Werner, 2 goals, 3 assists, bottom of the pack. Out of all our performers this season, right? And I just feel that if we start doing this Hudson-Odoi, Conor Gallagher, Solanke, Matt, I can't, because it's almost like more shit on top of the shit. We're not getting rid of the deadwood. We're bringing more deadwood in when we are desperate for Elise, Caravascalia, Eze. We're desperate for some talented, proven players that come and raise the levels that complement Van de Ven, that complement Romero, that complement Heung-min Son, not hold them back. So I don't know, Matt. I'm not gonna lie. I'm worried hearing this, but again, it's rumors, so I don't get too wound up. But alarm bells. I'm concerned, Matt. I am.
Again, for me, I think there will be a must-have, and there'll be a might-have list. So
and a Levy special, like the kebab shop. The mixed grill special, the Levy special with extra chili sauce.
Yeah,
extra Donna's sauce.
There'll be a few women that you'd want to take home at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. There'll be a few women that you want to take home at 12 o'clock. And there'll be a few women. God. There'll be the 10 to 2 women. And we'll have a mixture of that. There'll be a few 10 to 2s that you'll end up taking home.
We're going to have loads of 3 a.m. Loads of 3 a.m.
Yeah. You're talking about the kebab shop. The girl you speak to outside the kebab shop at the end of the night, you take her home and call it a draw. There'll be a few of those as well.
That's Chalobah.
That's Timo Werner.
But what's your take on this though? Because it seems like these rumors are circulating quite a bit. I'm not hearing any exciting. I haven't heard one signing we're linked to where I'm excited by. I'm genuinely excited by. I don't want Onana either.
You know what?
I don't want Onana at Spurs.
Do you know what?
His possession stats are terrible for what we're trying to do.
I think this might be a tactical approach. Move in silence. Stealth mode. Because all summer it was tap sober. Tap sober was the conversation. Do you remember? Van de Ven came, the Van de Ven conversation came halfway through the summer. It was tap sober all the way through. That was the guy. Tap sober. That's who we've earmarked. So I'm hoping there's a few more of those stealth approaches. And everybody wanted tap sober. Everybody. Who'd heard of Vicario? Raya was the guy. Nobody, if you said, right, on a piece of paper, write down the goalkeeper that Tottenham were going to sign, there is nobody that would have put down Vicario. So I'm hoping that some of these, and the winner is smoke screens, and the real target is under the radar, because he said we've been working on this months ago.
Yeah, but we also did Werner below the radar. We did Brennan Johnson below the radar. We did Veliz below the radar. And how's that worked out?
Yeah, listen, you can't get them all right. I understand that. And if you go through most managers, there's a couple of 10 to 2s that are always on the shopping list. But look, we applauded Maddison. We did applaud the Maddison deal, didn't we? Whether it was because he's a championship player.
Do you know what though, Matt? We applaud it, but we were warned. The fans like Wayne Holland, who's a regular in the comments on all Spurs channels, Leicester fans said, listen, this guy, he drops off second half of the season. You wait and see. And other Leicester fans said to us, listen, good player, but he's going to go missing. And they all warned us, but we just ignored it because we were winning games. We're like, no, but we're winning games. You know, we're top of the league. We completely ignored what they said, and they were all proven right. The drop-off was quite spectacular.
Significant. And that's the shame, that had Lo Celso been able to stay fit, he's the perfect foil for Maddison. So again, if we move Lo Celso on, and I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. Bergvall, if he shows anything what the suggestions are, maybe he could be one of those players that can give Maddison a rest in some games.
If he plays like his Swedish Farmers League YouTube clips in the Premier League for Spurs, he's going to be a very good player. If he replicates that level to the level we're actually at, if he can do that, there's no doubt. Of course, you can see he's a good player, but it's whether he can do it at this level, isn't it?
Can he translate that form to the Premier League?
Look, Matt, this is what we want as fans. Tony, Elise, Eze, Edison, Paulinho. They might not all be brilliant, but they lift the levels at Spurs. They raise us to the next step. That's what we want, not, Hudson Odoi.
We'll probably get 2 of those though. We'll probably get 2 of those. Phil P. We'll probably get 2 of those. But look, again, still, let's
Matt,
give ourselves
just to stop the channel from being shut down. Ruti 2, you're absolutely right. It's the same for you ladies as well. You got your 10 p.m. guy, you got your 12 p.m. guy, you got your 2 a.m. guy, and then you got the taxi driver on the way home.
But still, let's be honest. Let's be absolutely honest, right?
Yeah.
I was ecstatic when we signed Basuma. I was ecstatic.
We all were. We all were.
So sometimes what looks good on paper doesn't translate on the pitch.
But
there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee.
But the thing is, Basuma wasn't an Ange signing. So any of the signings at the club that weren't Ange's, I'm not really bothered by, because I expect if he doesn't want them to clear them out. I'm looking at his signings: Veliz, Solomon, Werner, Johnson. I'm looking at them and I'm worried. I
don't think
Gallagher, Hudson Odoi, Chalobah, these kind of players. It's like, mate.
Solomon is a Levy signing. That's got Daniel Levy's.
Yeah, but Ange's going to get the blame. But Matt, you say that. I say that. If Ange gets sacked, the investment bankers of our fan base and the Levy disciples are going to say, "Oh, but he backed him. He got him Solomon. It's not his fault that Solomon got injured." And our counter argument is going to be, but Ange didn't want him. That's not his signing. And they're going to say, "Oh, come on. Yeah. Who do you think signed him?" And then we're divided again. We're divided as to who signed the player. You know, who's behind it? And we get nowhere.
Yeah, look, I think we need more no players. I've got no problem with the Papasar that we sign and we send out on loan for a year, or a Dogi. I've got no problem with that. Ashley Phillips. I think those are clever bits of business, but that cannot subtract from the now. We need to get players that are ready to make an impact and contribute for next season. That's what we need to get to. So for every Valise, we need a 23, 24, 25 Vlahovic. Then I don't mind about Valise. Valise could go out on loan for the next 18 months. He'll still only be 20, 21 years of age. But get me Vlahovic or his equivalent. What is causing the problem is we're using Valise as the centre forward. And then we're moving Son across as a centre forward. And then we're using Richarlison at the centre forward. No, let's keep this simple. You've lost a guy that gets you 35, 40 goals and assists every season in Harry Kane. Replace. Don't fudge. Don't move around. Replace. Valise is fine. Valise is absolutely fine. But go and get me a Tony. Go and get me somebody that can come in there now and make an impact. That's what Tottenham have got to do this summer. That's what I'm hoping they're going to do this summer.
Well, I'm open-minded, but I'm also deeply scarred from the past, which always makes me lean to a more pessimistic mindset. And when I'm seeing these targets we're linked with, I'm freaking out. But I'm not going OTT because, again, rumours, ITKs, who knows what. And like you said, Matt, there will be some below the radar that will be announced 2 days before we sign them. And it'll just come from left field and we'll be like, oh,
Basuma.
Okay.
Who heard of Basuma? Who we weren't linked with Basuma or nothing.
The only worry is like everything seems to be based on a financial shopping at Lidl approach. Basuma, last year contract, get him on the cheap. Solomon, free. Veliz, 5 million. Turbo Vina, peanuts. It's always like, you know, Maddison, because he got relegated, his price went from 60 million to 40 million, plus Harry Winks in the deal, 30 million. It's almost like we buy players because they meet a financial criteria before they meet a footballing capacity criteria. And that's what I'm worried about. Because if Ange thinks he's going to perform well as a manager in this league, doing it this way, it's not going to happen. We've been here before. We've seen it, right?
Yeah. Look. I think we've admired Brighton, haven't we? We've admired the Brighton business model, and that's fine.
Yeah, but where's it got them, Matt? Where's that got them?
No, what I'm saying is buying players that people haven't heard of for next to nothing. I admire that. But again, that cannot detract from when Trossard is available, go and get Trossard. Don't get Danjuma. Don't get Timo Werner. Go and get Trossard. I think
Exactly.
That's what Tottenham now need to do. I don't mind sprinkling a Valise. I don't mind Nusa, who's potentially going to be very good. But alongside a Nusa, go and get Trossard. Get both of them. Then I'll know you're serious. That's what Tottenham. Don't bring me Nusa and say that's the guy to replace Son. Buy Nusa and buy Trossard. Or his equivalent.
Yeah. Buy a young player that fans will be patient with, but you've got to give us something where we say, okay, but you've also bought something ready-made. So we can absorb more time being patient because you've given us what we want as well on the other side. Listen, I agree with that. That if they did that, I think most Spurs fans deep down would struggle to argue and moan. So, again, we're going to have to wait and see what we do. I don't think there's going to be a lot of early business. I think the Euros are going to delay a lot of the transfers. Do you think that's going to be the case, or do you think we'll start signing players in the next couple of weeks?
I think we will move quickly, still. I think we will.
What does that mean?
The whole business, by the way. But I think there's a must-have and there's a might-have list. And I think the must-haves will be the players, one or two, and one of them will either be a Eze-esque or a June 30. I think there'll be players that are time-sensitive signings. So Morgan Gibbs-White, for example, there'll be two, in my opinion, that will come in before June the 30th.
June the 30th, so next month.
Yeah. So Aston Villa have to sell. Everton have to sell. Nottingham Forest have to sell. Chelsea have to sell. Leicester have to sell. So as a betting man, I would imagine some of our recruitment will come from those 5 clubs before June the 30th. There's my educated guess.
All right. Well, look, we'll find out soon enough, I guess. Over the next few weeks, we'll see who Spurs do sign or don't sign, or if it's going to be a bit later on, further down the road. The other topic I wanted to chat about briefly, and it kind of links into this, I guess, is Levy going missing. Now, this kind of links into the transfers. Before Arsenal played Everton, last game of the season, Arsenal had to win the game to have a chance of winning the league. But at the end of the day, it was all in Man City's hands, because if they beat West Ham, it was over, and they did. Josh Kroenke, the chairman of Arsenal, said this: "While we are undoubtedly proud of the progress we have made, I want to be clear that no one at the club will stand still. However things finish today, we're all working hard behind the scenes." Why aren't we hearing from our hierarchy? Because Ange can say what he wants, but fans are going to make what they want of what Ange says. The accountability has to come from above. Where's Scott Munn? Where's Paratici? Where's Johan Lange? Where's Daniel Levy? Where's Donna Cullen? There's a lot of people that are now layered in director, sporting, scouting positions. None of them are speaking, so why have they been employed? Daniel Levy should really have the balls to come out and speak and say, look, it's a decent start under Ange. Something's worked out well, something's not quite, but we have a plan. It's going to take 3-4 years. We're on course. Stay on board. We're going to back him. Nothing. They didn't say it before he came in. Instead, they said, we've got our Tottenham back, which means fucking what? They haven't spoken all season, especially during the rough patches, yet the Arsenal board and the Arsenal chairman spoke when it hit a rough patch under Arteta during the process. And now they're reassuring the fans, yeah, we've bottled it 2 years in a row, but we ain't going nowhere. We're going to see this over the line. That's how you keep people on board. That's how you unite fans and make people believe you lot want it just as much as us. Matt, why aren't we hearing anything from our club? And how is this tolerated by our fan base? Why do our fan base accept this? Why is it okay to charge an extra 6% on the season tickets, but you don't even communicate to me, what am I paying for? Like, what are you wanting? What is your ambition? What is the goal here? You know, because I'm seeing my rivals down the road on the brink, and there's plenty of communication there, but with us, we've got our Tottenham back.
Yeah, look, I think the business model, unfortunately, we are resigned to that business model. He's camera shy. He's a reluctant trader, and the football side of it is a distraction from his real motivation, which is real estate. So I think it's clearly set up for as little as possible. That's just his business model. So it's very sad, because as fans, we're deprived, we're starved of success, we're starved of trophies. So we want. Unfortunately, while we've got Levy, who's pulling the strings. He will continue to dangle as the puppet master, and he will release certain bits of information through his PR team at the right time, i.e. the eve of season tickets coming out, just to dangle the carrot a little bit, to get people to renew their season ticket. So just old habits die hard still. I just don't think that's him. It's not in his makeup to be a football man, you know. If you look at all the other chairmans, they either sit quiet. You don't hear much from the Glazers. They don't release many statements. But when the manager points at 75 million for Anthony, the money's there.
But you see, Matt, that's my point though. You don't hear from the Glazers. Look at the state of Man United. What I'm saying is, clubs that are doing well seem to have a bit more of engagement and a bit more of sharing the vision with the fan base. The chairman of Man City, he goes out and actually meets the fans and talks to them and reassures them and tells them, don't worry if this player's leaving, this is going to be sorted. I just feel at Spurs, you're being given examples of, look, that's how it's done, Mr. Chairman, and they still do nothing. And I just feel that Ange is having to carry the whole weight of the club, which is outrageous. It's not right.
Yeah. Look, I think he's an experienced manager, and he's used to most of the clubs he's managed. He's had to come in and make quick decisions on personnel, players, coaches, and so on. So I think he's used to that, though, still. But for me, you asked me months ago about the summer, and for me, we've now got a recruitment team that are 10 months, 12 months in their roles. So it's over to them still. They've been sat for 6 months, 10 months, 12 months, amassing this list of data-driven players. So it's over to them. So if we get to August the 31st, September the 1st, and there are the Timo Werners that come through the door and the Ndidi's and the lazy signings, then there'll be a different tone to the conversation. But for me, I would like to think still you have employed layers of recruitment people to do this job. Surely sitting there looking at the screens like me and you, watching the depleted squad, looking at the gaps in that Tottenham squad, surely they must have a very extensive who to go after, who can come, and for how much. So,
I'm listening to the Arsenal chairman telling the fans, we want to win the league. We've got plans. We're going to keep going till we get it. That's what I'm hearing. Whereas I'm hearing my chairman tell me I've got my Tottenham back. What does that mean? Because we've done nothing for 25 years. Do you mean we're back? We've got the team that wins nothing back, or we've got the Tottenham back from 1961? Because if we did, then where's the trophies? Because they won trophies. What exactly have I got back, Daniel? And you know, they never say we want to win the league, we want to win domestic cups, or what is all this for? Because I'm hearing the clubs at the top of the league telling their fans what it's all about. But I'm hearing my chairman talk about a sustainable business, financially competent setup, and the FFP rules will kick in and we will benefit. And bro, I don't want to hear a Goldman Sachs speech. Talk to me about the football. Tell me about what's going to happen on that pitch that I pay to go on a match day and observe and hopefully enjoy. And we're hearing nothing.
Look, I think it's not going to change still. He's made 20-something years ago in an interview, he made it abundantly clear that he was never in football for football. He has no interest in football. He realised that there was an opportunity with all the commercial deals and all the commercial revenue that can be generated. He saw a gap in the market and he got Levy to back him, and he became the director and so on and so on. So Daniel Levy's never changed. I think he's made it abundantly clear. I had an argument with my brother, who got me into Spurs all those years ago, but I had an argument with my brother this morning.
It's his fault.
It's his fault, yeah. I had an argument with my brother who's a Levy in, and I'm like, John, it's like a serial killer. We've got 24 years of his crimes, of his misdemeanors. How can there be any debate or excuse for Daniel Levy? Every time he has an opportunity to rectify the problem, he scores an own goal. So it's as clear as day for me. I don't think anytime soon he's going to come out with a statement about we want to win the league and we're doing everything to win the league, because he's no interest in it. He's not a football person.
Great.
So
we're going to go on
say.
to... No, listen. I just can't believe fans just get sucked in by a chairman that doesn't even tell him what he wants us to achieve. We're going to go on to your questions, people. Any questions you've put on social media for us, we're going to go through them. But before we do that, we have a guest. I've said it was only going to be me and Matt, but he was barraging me. Get me on. Okay, all right, you're on. Alex, the box office, wearing his Norwich City kit. Looks like, is that Norwich City you're wearing?
It's Jamaica,
I think you're
bro.
on mute, Alex.
It's Jamaica, bro. It's
Jamaica. Oh,
bro.
sorry.
I
saw green. I saw green.
No, bro. That's where I'm coming from. Well, family's from. You know what I mean? You know how it is, isn't it? But yeah, listen, yeah, I don't want to make too much of a big deal about this because I'm on the beach still, yeah, like some of the Tottenham players last season. But like, I just think for me at the moment, I hear what Matt is saying. I'm not even having an issue with him because you can think what you want. It's up to you. It's fine. But it's just like, I think it's quite clear. It's like, for me, like, even you're saying it still. Why they not come out and say something for the manager? And this is why I can't back. And the thing is, though, it's like, well, they're not going to do that. They don't do that normally. Again, that's why I say, don't tell me to back the manager. Then, don't tell me to back the manager. If you can't put your neck on the line for the manager, that you put your mind up and say, this is our man. Yeah, you've now seen Arsenal. Now you just said this show me even more. What I said last season was the truth. Yeah. Now they've bottled the league twice. The second time they bottled the league, their owners are coming out and saying, don't worry. That's now telling me, right, to all the Arteta outs and all that, well, they're still backing the manager. Regardless what you think as well, they don't care what you think. They're sticking with their man. They're sticking with the process. They're saying, regardless what it goes wrong, we're taking accountability for it. But at the moment, all I'm hearing is from Ange. And that's it. I'm not going to say too much because I've got exclusive on my channel right now what's going to happen next season. Yeah, it's going to be on soon on Mr. Box Office TV. Yeah? But the point is, yeah, I don't see it. And people keep on telling me, oh, you need to back the process. You need to do this. You need to do that. Well, firstly, he needs to coach better because I don't think he's a good coach. I don't think he's a good coach at all. I'm sorry, no one's improved from last season. And don't tell me, and people say, oh, he needs time. But next season, he's got hardly any time. He's got Europe next season, man. So, yeah, he needs quality players. You can't do it with Emerson Royale. Okay, we all know that. You know what I feel about the front three, but I've told you this already. But I don't get it. Again, it's not against you, Matt. I like you, Matt. It's not nothing.
Yeah, hey, no problem, listen. And as I said before you came on, I respect every opinion. If it's contrary to mine, I respect that because not everybody thinks the same. For me, Alex, I agree. I do think Angie's a good coach, by the way. I'm going to slightly disagree with you there. But what I do agree with you is that our business model is completely different. It's a completely different setup. Tottenham aren't set up to win trophies. Tottenham are set up to just be there or thereabouts, Just keep me, just keep me around the event, not in it, just around it. Yeah, fourth or fifth, great, that'll do, because that generates enough income to keep Levy, Enoch, and all the shareholders in the pound seats. That's all he's interested in. The moment a manager starts asking for significant transfers, the Bastonis, the Lukakus, once they start asking for that 60, 70, 80 million pound players, that's your death certificate. You've just signed your death certificate, because that is not in Daniel Levy's. He hasn't priced that into his business model. He wants you to go and get the 15 million, the last year of your contract. You've just been relegated from the Premier League, so there's a deal to be done. That's what Daniel Levy's interested in. So he can focus on amassing this real estate empire that whenever he walks away from, it's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8 times it's money that he actually committed to. So I asked Stel on one of the shows a couple of weeks ago, I've asked myself, what is success for Spurs? What is success for Spurs, Alex? Let me ask you.
I've got no idea. I've got no idea.
What is success?
I know what Ange wants. This is the thing. This is what amazes me at the moment. You just explained to me what what you think is, because we don't know what they think. What you think is their targets, their aim, their ambition, their vision. Yeah. Ange has already told us our ambition, isn't he? He's already told us. Yeah. He wants to win the league.
He wants to
win the league.
Yeah,
so how is this working? How is this working, Matt? How is this working? You see what I'm saying?
Of course.
So one way or the other, he's sitting there thinking, well, I want to win the league, though. I'm like, yeah, but we're happy with fifth. Yeah, but I want to win the league. And the thing is, it's been proved. It's been proved because a couple of weeks ago, even before he had a little bit of a rant, he got a bit shirky. Yeah. A couple of months ago, he said there was in the nose said, oh, Ange is struggling to try and change the mentality of Tottenham from trying to get Champions League to winning the league.
Yeah.
I was just thinking at the moment, and also the thing is, I think he talks too much, and again, it's just like this is what I can't stand about him now, and it's the fans, but also him as well. Why is he going on ITV to be a pundit now? Why is he being a pundit? Please tell me. Please tell me. Why is he a pundit on ITV?
I think because he's popular, I think his agent would have been inundated with offers, and I think he realizes he's got a relatively short managerial shelf life in Europe because he's 58. I think he's maximizing his kind of brand by becoming a pundit, that's the first thing. And I think number two, I'm hoping he gets success by accident. I don't think it will be geared from the owners, like the Arsenal owners. They are all in sync. The owners are in sync with Edu. Edu's in sync with Arteta. Arteta's in sync with his coaches, and the players are in sync with the coaches. They're all in a line. With Tottenham, if you get success, it's by accident.
It's by spite of the owners. It's spite of the owners, basically. It's in spite of the owners. That's what
I'm hoping we stumble on a 2016 squad. Yeah. We stumble on it kind of by accident, really. That we had a mismatch of players. Don't forget, we got Dembele from Fulham. It's not like we got him from PSG or Barcelona or Real Madrid. We got Moussa Dembele from Fulham.
But Matt, the difference is right now is that Pochettino made him better. He made him a better player. That's the thing.
Yes, he did.
This is where he believed, because I didn't like Pochettino when he came in, like I said. Yeah. But he made me believe the second season because I was seeing things that I'd never seen before. Yeah, I was seeing Dembele doing what he was doing. I was seeing Dyer being in midfield. I was seeing things that a coach is what's supposed to be doing. And this is where I'm going to judge Ange. Let's be honest here. Yeah, I can't really say too much because I put my standpoint straight away. You know what I feel. You know where I'm going to back this year. But for me, For me, Tottenham need coaches, yeah. And at the moment, I don't see a coach at the moment. I see a manager that has coaches around him. I think that's why he was making such a big deal about his coach back at Celtic. Yeah, his
Yeah,
assistant back at Celtic.
yeah,
That's why I think at the moment, because
yeah.
like I said, I'm not being arsed. Like I said, I've got nothing, no head in the game with this guy. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna stick to what I feel because I'm not gonna behave and try and twerk for these fan bases to just get popularity. That's not me. That's not my channel,
Okay.
Mr. Box Office TV. Stell knows that. Everyone knows that. Yeah, but for me, yeah, I just think for
Yeah.
me, just like I don't see any player getting better. You see what I'm saying? I don't see them from the season with Conte and Conte and the that charade that season. I don't see any player actually doing better. Like a Gareth. When Harry Redknapp had Gareth Bell, and
And he
Gareth Bell made
improved.
him boom. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
Modric, boom.
I
I
don't.
don't see it at
I
the
don't
moment.
think.
With Eddie Howe, with Joe
Yeah.
Linton, yeah, turning him into a midfielder.
Yeah.
At the moment, you
Yeah.
see these
Yeah.
examples. You know what I mean?
But I would say I don't think it's. I agree with you, Alex. I don't think it's as significant as the examples that you've used. So with Gareth Bale, you could see he went away for that one pre-season, and he must have put on, you know, about a stone and a half of muscle. He started the preseason as a boy, and he ended the preseason as a man. Pochettino moved Moussa Dembele from a right midfielder. Don't forget, when he started at Spurs, he played right midfield. Pochettino moved him into midfield as the deep lying playmaker. He then noticed that he started to pick up a lot of injuries because he was getting involved in too many of the skirmishes. He then brought in Vanwarma to do the ugly stuff and allowed Dembele to just be the magician and just orchestrate the game. So Vanwarma done all the ugly stuff. So I agree with you that the manager has to, but it didn't happen overnight. Don't forget Pochettino's first season, there were question marks about Pochettino at Spurs. And if my memory serves me right, it was Aston Villa away, which I went to, where we scored 2 late goals and Kane scored the deflected free kick. And then we went on that winning run.
Yeah.
So
But
this
what
is
works
what
in his favour though? What works in his favour though? He brought in Mason. He brought in Kane. Kane was not the first team. He was not the first team, wasn't he?
Soldado and
Soldado
Adebayor were playing.
and
Yep,
Adebayor, that
Soldado,
waste of
Adebayor.
space. That absolute
Yeah,
waste of space.
yeah, yeah. He brought
And
in
he brought in
Bentaleb.
other. Brought in
He
Bentaleb.
brought in,
He brought. This is what's working. This is what is working in Pochettino's favour. What you've seen at Chelsea, by the way, right?
disgrace. That's a
Yeah,
disgrace.
what you've seen at Chelsea, I don't think it's actually disgraced. I think that's a different situation because of Chelsea. That's Chelsea, and they're used to a certain culture at Chelsea. That's the problem with Chelsea at the moment. Tottenham's culture at the moment is what we're seeing with Daniel Levy at the moment. And going back onto what Angie's saying at the moment, I don't see the young. This is where I think the excuses are coming thin for me. Yes, the youngsters might not be ready, but when are they going to get the chance? When you saw Pochettino, he just gave him a chance. Just gave him a chance because he had nothing to lose, and
But
he
I've
had
told you
Europe.
this, Alex. I've explained
I
this.
know. But the point,
they're not getting a chance under Ange. They're not.
Yeah, I know. But I hear you still. I'm not dismissing what you're saying. But the problem is, he had 1 game a week this season. Where is he going to have the time next season when this is supposed to be the season of proving himself? And this was supposed to be no expectations this season. That's why 5th this season for me means nothing to me right now because he had nothing to prove this season.
And said, "Judge me in my second season" or something.
Exactly.
Like that,
this is the thing. I've even said it as well when I don't even
said.
like him. I've said it how many times? You've seen it on this channel. I've said it on other channels as well. So it's for me at the moment. And I hear this overachievement and everything else. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, cool. But I think Matt, you just summed it up perfectly. Yeah, the club who have not told us their expectations. I've heard it from Ange. Are happy with 5th, happy to get Champions League. Ange wants this, yeah. Ange wants this top dog. He wants to be top of the table, yeah.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So
of course.
at the moment, I can't get on board this at the moment because I see too many things where I can't tell they believe in this process at the moment. You know what I mean? You can get all the signings you want. But it's just I need your word now. Yeah, I'm 36 years old, going on 37 now. I ain't stupid. Yeah, Stell's not stupid, and you're not stupid either. Yeah, I'm not having a go at you because I think you say a lot of things I can agree with as well. It's nothing wrong. It's just I'm just saying my opinion. You either like it or don't like
Yeah,
it. But the
listen,
point I'm
you're
making is,
welcome. I
but
welcome your opinion.
that's not being horrible to you, by the way. But it's
No, no
just for
problem.
me. I
Yeah.
just can't see it at the moment. I think you just summed it up perfectly. Why I can't back this at the moment, when you're getting people like Gallagher and you're telling me to get on board because he works hard for the team. Sorry, you need to show me, bro. You need to show me. Yeah. If you're getting someone like Sodoy, who now Alistair Gold said no, we're not going to go for him now. You need to convince me. And that's
Well,
it
it
for
would
me.
be a worry. It would be a worry, Alex, if we went for Hudson-Odoi when we could have bought him for 5 million before he went to Forest.
Yeah. And that's the
That
point.
that
And we're
that
just
would
going
make
for
no sense.
signings because they're in trouble for FFP. That's
There
just
you go.
Tottenham summed it up perfectly.
There you
And
go.
it's just
There
and
you
it's
go.
not, there's nothing about the quality because when I go to Tottenham Hotspur, right, I can't jump up and down for Timo Werner. I can't jump up and down for Richarlison. I'm not like that. Ginola got me off my seat. Bell got me off my seat. Dembele got me off my seat. You know what I mean? Song got me off my seat when he went through and ran through the whole team of Burnley.
Ericsson used to get me off my seat.
Ericsson, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Madison at a
yeah,
time got me off my
yeah.
seat. That's what I want to see. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I'm fed up hearing this rubbish about we've got these players, we need to give them time. Oh, you need to be on board. That's not football for me. Stats are not football for me. That's why I think it's killing the game. But I'm going off as subject, and that's it. But
Yeah.
that's just me at the moment,
I think
and that's
I
it.
think I think we're starved, Alex. I think that the problem with a lot of the Spurs fan base, we've been in an absolute barren spell of trophies. So we've almost sold our soul by bringing in people like Jose and Conte.
But the fans accept it, man. The fans accept it. So it's all well saying like, do you know what? See, the way I look at Spurs fans nowadays is you moan about being hungry, but yet you're not prepared to go and hunt for some food. You're not prepared to go and do something about it. We accept being hungry. We're like, yeah, well, I'll just come back next week and next month. And I feel like we're starved, but we've allowed ourselves to be starved as well.
Yeah, because I think still, and I said this to you early on when we got talking, that I said your consistent message, and Brian and one or two others, Alex, who kind of questioned the owners and the business model, and why are we accepting this mediocre finish? Why are we accepting fourth? Why are we accepting fifth? Why are clubs like Leicester City, who've been promoted, relegated, winning cups, winning leagues? Why are Aston Villa, that have been promoted and relegated, finishing above us, having a higher wage bill and attracting players like Diaby, Bailey, Ollie Watkins? Why aren't Tottenham dining at that table? We've been an ever-present in the Premier League. We've been in the Champions League 5 times out the last 8 seasons. Why are Arsenal signing Declan Rice with 1 year of Champions League football? Why, when we get Champions League football...
Again, it goes back to our fan base who applaud Timo Werner's, they applaud Brennan Johnson's, they get excited about signings that are bang average. We think Dane Scarlett's the next Harry Kane. It's our mentality is wrong because we are accepting of what we're given, not because we are losers in the head. It's because we accept failure. I've said it so many times. The Spurs fan base is broken because you've got some that love investment banking and financial advice. You've got some that just want trophies. You've got others that want an experience, a day out, a journey. And then you've got those that, no matter what happens, we must play the Tottenham way, which no one can tell me what that looks like or what it means. So you've got some that are here just for style, some that are here for trophies, some that are here for financials, and some that are here for experience. And when you put that all together, of course we're going to be where we are because no one's prepared to do anything about winning nothing because not everyone is here for that. But then if you ask people, would you like the idea of winning trophies? Well, yeah, I'd love us to win a trophy. So why do you accept failure for 25 years? Because I'm here for an experience. I'm here for the financials. I get excited by spreadsheets. I'm here because I just want a day out. I'm here because I'm hoping to see the Tottenham way on the pitch. And it's okay.
And still, that's okay. That's okay. If you're a corporate person and you want to take some clients to a football match and enjoy the experience, that's okay. But if you get frustrated when the Carabao Cup finals on in February and you say, why aren't Tottenham in that? If you get frustrated when we get knocked out against Fulham, when we field an understrength team, those are the times you need to channel that frustration and channel that anger and ask yourselves, why are Solomons, why are these guys coming in? Why is Ben Davies coming in midweek against Fulham? Those are the questions that you should be asking instead of, and just chucked the Carabao Cup. That's not the sentence. The sentence should be, why is that squad so depleted that Ben Davies is in his 10th year at Tottenham?
So see, no, I totally agree. And then look, we've got fans like Louis Parker, who's allowed his opinion. I could easily block him. I could easily just remove him. But no, I let you have your say. But I am going to reply to you because you're saying that I'm being negative all the time. You're the negative one. You are negative. You are reflecting your inner negativity on me. Rather than dealing with your negativity, you try and do this identity politics where you're negative because your opinion is different to mine. Don't bring politics to football because I'll embarrass you for it. You know, you're saying I'm waffling. Why? 25 years, one trophy. Yet fans like you say we're a Big Six club. No Big Six club goes 25 years with one trophy. Fact. Arteta was given time. Forget Arteta. What about when Arsenal weren't that great and they were winning FA Cups over the last 10 years? Pochettino was given time. Was he given the resources? No. And then you sit here saying that, you know, Ange would do the same. You have no evidence or no proof as to what Ange will do at Spurs. None. So, look, you're allowed your opinion. I've given you your opinion. Ange has been here for 1 year. Levy's been here for 25, my friend. I think you've missed. I think you've missed this conversation. It's just maybe gone over your head. The point is, over 25 years, I think the Spurs fan base has become something different. I think that you've got those that are here, like I've said, experience, some for a journey, some for the financials. As long as we've got an ownership that's not like Man City and not like Chelsea, they're happy. If I said look, there's a lot of fans at Spurs. If you said to them, if we had a Saudi Arabian owner and we won the Premier League and the Champions League, what would you think of that? Don't want it. It devalues the purpose. There are fans like that, and they're allowed to feel that way. But to me, it's wow. So you want us to win how? Show me the way you want us to win then. Because the only other way is if you start spending big on quality signings. Arsenal, Declan Rice, Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk, Alisson, because they're not the Saudi owners. They've had to spend big on high quality. So don't talk to me about Timo Werners and Veliz and Brennan Johnsons. You're like, what do you want then? And when you ask this question, their argument collapses. And then they just deflect and go into, oh, but look at the FFP, look at the financials. No, bring back the conversation to the point, and they can't debate it. They literally can't debate it. And because I can, they fear me. And I think that's systematic of our fan base right now, guys. I don't see a way forward with our fan base who have zero accountability for the owner, zero accountability for, like you said, Matt, the signings that we make. How do you justify a lot of this? And this is the conversation that pretty much 95% of YouTube channels and podcasters and journalists and the media, they don't want to have this chat. Because how do you win it? How do you win this conversation after 25 years of evidence? So,
yeah, there's a consistent theme, you know. He's the longest serving chairman in Premier League. There's a reason
and in
for
Tottenham
that.
history and in Spurs history as well.
There's a reason for that, you know.
Yeah.
He's got the golden goose. So he is not moving anytime soon from Tottenham Hotspur. Why would he? He's been able to quietly build this real estate empire that's now worth gazillions. The football is a sideshow. It's a sideshow. It's like a Pablo Escobar. What you see at the front is not what's happening behind. So Tottenham Football Club is kind of it's just there hovering. Just don't make too much noise, but you're on the shop floor. So that's what people see. But every time we're at the pearly gates and we've got the chance to go and make that marquee signing to make the difference, we pass. We pass.
The thing is, Matt, like if this summer, if we signed Elise, Kvaratskhelia, you can pick whatever holding min you want, Edison from Atalanta, and we signed one promising youngster, you will not hear me complain one bit. You will not hear me moan one bit. And do you know why? Do you know why you won't hear me moan? There's only one reason I won't moan. Because I've never seen us do that before. That to me is something completely new that we've not tried. And I've seen other clubs who are successful try that. You would not hear a word from me. I'll be like, hold on, I've never seen this. We've never tried that. How can I moan? How can I moan that the club don't try different, don't try ambition, don't do it a way that we've seen that other clubs kind of work sometimes? You wouldn't hear a word from me. But because we do sign Beliz, and we do sign Solomon, and we do sign Brennan Johnson, and we do sign Timo Werner, I'm like, bollocks.
And get the team.
I'm not getting drawn in by this. Like, what?
And get the team to fly out to Australia, right, and then come back straight away after that, and only have like how many hours on the ground? Ridiculous. I'm sorry. I mean, where's the logical? Where's that logic? You know what I mean? Tired the players already.
If Trossard was a free transfer, he would have been in a Spurs shirt before the end of the day.
Yeah.
Fabio Vieira, Arsenal paid £35 million for. Who talks about Fabio Vieira?
No one.
Who cares? Arsenal fans don't care about Fabio Vieira because Declan Rice came in for 105 million.
And Trossard came in for 65 million. Yeah.
But no one cares about Fabio Vieira. Is he a flop? Who cares?
But Matt, this is the thing though. When you make transfers, let's say you make 5 transfers and one doesn't work out. You're not moaning as a fan because do you know what? You've given me 4 really good ones.
Of course you're not.
Manchester City have signed some dodgy players over the years under Pep, but no one ever talks about those ones because the rest
Mendy cost 50 million.
Mendy? What about the first goalkeeper that Pep signed? He binned him after a year, right?
Yeah.
So there's players that every club will sign a mistake or just, do you know what? The scouts, it didn't quite work out. But as long as most of your signings land, as a fan, you're not moaning. I remember under Poch, we signed a couple of duds, but I never moaned about. Do you know why? Because you gave me Vertonghen, you gave me Alderweireld, you gave me Dele Alli, you gave me Wanyama. Yeah. I'm not moaning, man. And I never once moaned under Poch. When we stopped signing players, though, I did have a problem with that. Because I'm like, hold on a minute. We're level with Liverpool. They're pushing on and we're staying still. This isn't right. And in the end, it proved to be our Achilles heel. And Liverpool beat us in the Champions League final. What a surprise that was. Didn't see that coming.
Ask Man City if they care that Calvin Phillips costs 58 million. Man City don't care that Calvin Phillips costs 58 million. They don't care. Because look at the signings that Man City have made alongside Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, that's right. I think they signed Jack Grealish and Haaland the same season, didn't they?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Listen, I do want to take some questions from you guys. We've got another 10 minutes, so we're gonna have to do this bit a little bit quick. There was 1 or 2 questions I saw on social media that I wanted to ask you guys. Tell me what you're thinking. There's a really good question. A lot of the questions we've actually covered on the show already tonight, guys, so I won't be going through those questions. But there's 1 or 2 that I thought were interesting that we haven't covered. Joshua Piera says, What are your thoughts on the season that Son has just had? 17 goals and 10 assists. I've been seeing online that a lot of people have been saying he's been awful. Yet this matches his second best season, goals and assists wise. His best being when he won the Golden Boot, 23 goals and 7 assists. Do you think the expectations from him are more now because Kane has left and we have no other reliable goal scorer? And do you think the criticisms are fair? Matt, you can go first. Then
no,
Alex,
I've gone on for a bit. Alex, go for it.
Go for it, Alex.
Thank you, Matt. I mean, for me at the moment, I think he's judged because he's looked as very. He's you know, when people say that he's world class, I think that's what they're trying to judge him on at the end of the day, and I think that's why he's always going to get criticism because of the quality he's shown in the past. I think that's the thing, really. You know what I mean? I think he's not. I think the whole thing with Kane leaving hasn't helped him as well. But again, I think this is down to his game as well. I don't think he's helped with the strikers he's got as well. But yeah, I think it's also maybe his game needs to change a little bit as well for me, because he's getting older. He hasn't got the that burst of pace that he needs to that he can exploit a lot of the time as well. He's got skill. I like to see him. He used to always shoot outside the box. I don't see that anymore now, and I think that maybe a bit of confidence, maybe the captaincy is kind of waning on him a little bit, maybe as well. But yeah, I'm pretty harsh with him a little bit because of the standards he set before. I think, and I think he would say that as well. And I think, I don't want to go personal, but I think his father would look at that as well and say that, and you've heard from his father that he's very hard on him as well, isn't it? So I think for me, he's judged harshly because of his standards he set before,
But Alex, the question here is: this is his second best ever season in terms of goals and assists.
For stats, but I don't do stats. I don't do stats. I do what
But isn't a goal scorer's job to get goals, Alex?
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not this stat guy.
So what are you judging Son on?
I judge what I see, and for me at the moment, he hasn't been that great.
You've seen him score 17 goals and 10 assists.
I've seen him, but for me, I think he hasn't amazed me. He hasn't amazed me. No, I mean, I think he's been better than what we've got in terms of forwards, but that doesn't take a lot. I'm being honest. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The standards of Tottenham, right? If you look at the Premier League, and I don't think it's been a great league this season. I'm sorry, it's not been a great league at all. I think it's bang average. And again, I said this a long time ago, and now everyone starts agreeing with me again. I was the one that was a negative, but look who's people agreeing with Mr. Box Office now. You know what I mean? So you need to acknowledge, like I said before, but I don't want to go there. But it's like, but yeah, for me, he can do more. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, because he's got that standard, like I said before, lots of the other players that have done well this season, like Van der Ven, Vicario, Porro, all these players have got to be better next season. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's why I'm an old school Tottenham fan.
Just so you know, Alex, Son is the 5th highest goal scorer in the league and 3rd highest for assists this season.
Right. Again, this is why
we're saying not good enough.
This is why I'm not saying his stats. I'm not saying it's not good enough. I think he could do more because unfortunately he has the standard. He has that standard.
Do you think he had a good season then, Alex? Do you think he had a good season? Do you think he had a good season or not?
He had an all right season. All right.
Matt, what about you? Do you think Son's had a good season, second best season statistically? Should we expect more from him, or are we being too harsh? Where are we at with this?
Look, I think Son is not a centre forward. It's a specialised position. It's a specialised role. Son is a moments footballer. Son is far more effective when he can face a defender and he can see the goal. That's when he comes into the game. He's lethal off both feet. He has such a low backlift. He gets his shots off or gets his crosses off very quickly. Teams can't get themselves set against him. That's his asset. This season, he's been asked to play with his back to goal, and it's not his position. So as the season has gone on, he's been indifferent in those games because good teams know he's not a number 9. So they block the space behind him to run into. So then when he's got to play with his back to goal and be a foil and hold the ball and lead the line, he's wanting. And it's not a criticism of Son. It's just not his position, you know? So he's actually helped the team by playing in the position that he's not natural at playing at. And yes, he has had good games, i.e. Arsenal away, playing as a number 9. But that's more as a help out. If you're asking him to play in a specialised position as a number 9, 38 games of a season, you're going to get what we've got. So do you want the chance to drop to Son? Yes, you do. But his overall game as a number 9 is limited. He doesn't like to play with his back to goal. He doesn't like to show for the ball with his back to goal. So he's limited. So
Can I argue back to you about this?
Yeah, go for it.
Argue back to this.
Yeah.
The reason why is because if we're gonna put Song up here, right? Song up here, the top players are able to adapt and make the position their own and do it the way that they want to do
point.
it.
That's a fair
Because the
point.
thing is, though, like I remember people like you know Ronaldo. He was a right winger. You know what I mean?
He was a winger.
And he was able to adapt to be that forward position. And he became that forward position when he got older. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, Harry Kane, where he's gone back and started to be that creator for us. He was able to adapt, you know, because he didn't have pace, and that's it. That maybe is a different example a little bit, but Gareth Bale, for instance, yeah, under Villas-Boas, yeah, and then with Real Madrid, yeah, he was a left winger, but then they made him a forward, and look how effective he was. You know what I mean? Now this may be also an argument, a direct criticism of Ange again. Unfortunately, again, proving my point again, I don't think he's a good coach because if you're not using a star player like Son and trying to use the best of his qualities to try and help the team, what are you doing with Son? You know what I mean? You know, because you've got a class player like Son, and he's working hard, and you're putting him up front. Why are you not using his positives to try and make him, and try and help the team out? You see what I'm saying? Because when you've got someone like Johnson struggling, Werner struggling scoring goals, and you've got a great player like Son, I think he could have used him better. You know what I mean? I think Andrew's so focused on trying to get. Again, I'm going on to criticizing Andrew a little bit, but unfortunately, this is the way it is. Unfortunately, when you're just focusing on just the system, you're not focusing on the individual, and unfortunately, I think that's where Song has suffered. You know what I mean? I think he needed some coaching, some guidance, because he's got the quality. He's got a shot on him. Why have we not seen him outside the box? He was doing that under Conte, shooting from outside the box.
But in under Conte, Kane was the focal point.
Yeah.
And what would happen is Kane would come into that like number 10 role, so the kind of like advanced quarterback, and he would get on a half turn, and Son would start his run. And then Kane would play him through, but again, Son is facing the goal. So when Kane plays the ball, it's almost like a relay and a baton. So when Kane passes in the ball, he's already in motion. So then Son would take 1-2 touches, goal. He doesn't have that setup at Tottenham because he doesn't have a player that's going to be in that position to get him on the half turn and thread him through. What is happening is Son is playing predominantly with his back to goal.
Yeah, I know.
And he's not a natural at it. It's not a criticism. He's just it's not his position.
He's not that guy. Yeah, I know.
It's not his position.
But this is where he's not. This is where we can't. I can't call him a world-class player then, because the thing is, though, again, like I said, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Matt, but this is where you're making the point for me.
It's okay.
He's not able to adapt to the position and use it to do it in his own way. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what world-class players do. They use it in their own way. You know what I mean? And adapt it in their own way and make it their own position. That's what
and
Gareth
make it
Bale
work.
did. You make it
And
work.
make it
You know what
work.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like even you
Yeah,
saw
and-
with Trossard doing it at Arsenal this season. You know what I mean? He was playing up front mostly. Havertz of all people, you know, adapting to a position.
But Havertz though is 6'4", so he's got the raw ingredients to play. As much as Arsenal play this silky ticky-tacky football, if you look, sometimes they go from back to front. They're not shy in hitting Havertz early. If you see Havertz live, he's a big guy, you know. So he can, when he has to, get in a 1v1 with a centre half because he's a physical specimen. Son's not naturally suited to that type of football. He wants to be left or right to you and go past you. He doesn't want to stand static with you and deal with combat. It's not his game. Valise is built that way. I'm not saying Valise is the answer, by the way, but what I'm saying is a number 9 is a specialist role. You can pinch Havertz in. You can pinch Trossard in to play this false 9. I think Cesc Fabregas did it for Barcelona and Spain. You can pinch them in. But if you're going to ask them to play a full season in that role, they'll come unstuck.
Do you know what worries me, right? I brought my little spreadsheet that I've been doing all season. This is against the top 10 teams. Son's done quite well. He scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 goals, 3 assists. So against the top 10 teams, he's done we can't really knock it too much. Could he have done better in a few games? Yes. He missed a couple of games as well due to Asia Cup. So he's done all right. I can't knock the guy. But I think my biggest concern is that a player who scores 17 goals and 10 assists, whether the stats are a true reflection of the reality, whether we go by stats or not, he scored 17 goals and 10 assists, and we're questioning him. And we're questioning him. Why are we questioning Kulu, Brennan Johnson, Timo Werner? Why are they not the ones that the question's directed to? And it's like, well, hold on, let's question Son. That's kind of what I find strange about this. And I've noticed this with a lot of Spurs fans because, again, if we look at performance this season, Richarlison, 11 goals, 4 assists. You'd say, do you know what? That's not too bad for a guy that's the backup striker. Kulu, no double digits. Brennan Johnson, no double digits. Romero scored as many goals as Johnson. Maddison almost scored as many goals as Pape Sarr and Mickey van der Ven. Werner, Lo Celso, hold on a minute. Son has outperformed every player by a country mile. Yeah. Who do we question? Son.
Yeah.
Can you see what's wrong with us as a club? We should be going in on Johnson and Werner and Kulu and Lo Celso and Maddison has been shocking, right? But all the questioning and all the heat, not from us, because we never asked the question. But the question is, what do you think of Son? Well, I think he's done well, and I think the rest have been shit. I think they've all been
a match winner. He's a match winner, but to get the best out of Son, don't play him as a number 9. I think that's my observation. I'm not saying to sell Son, get rid of Son, or Son's on the decline.
We don't have another number 9 though, Matt, do we? Richarlison's been injured for half the season, and he's been inconsistent.
If you get a Vlahovic or a Jimenez or a Tony or a Solanke who is a number 9, Son will come into his own because he's an intelligent footballer and he will see spaces in the pitch and he'll make things happen. We've pinched him in to play as a number 9 for a full season, which is more of a question of the club than Son. So I take your point. We shouldn't be questioning Son. We should be questioning why a top 4, top 6 football club, one of the richest clubs in world football, allow Harry Kane to go for 100 million, by the way, and don't buy a replacement.
I think
he hasn't gone on.
I think
Matt,
I do agree with
Alex,
you,
1
though.
second. Can I, Matt? I just say one more thing on this. I think we should be able to question Son, right? We should be able to question any player. We should say that Son, you could have maybe done better in that game, and do you know what? You have gone missing in certain periods, right? I think we're allowed to have that chat, but I think that should be the last conversation we have. I think there's much bigger conversations about the rest of the attack that aren't being had enough, and they're all getting a pass. They're all getting a freebie. They're all getting a get out of jail card. I'm like, whoa. What? Because Kulu scored 2 goals at Sheffield United when it doesn't matter. It's okay now. Brennan Johnson, 5 goals all season. That's okay for £50 million.
What was you going to say, Alex?
I think it's listen, Stel, you know I'm questioning all my other forwards. You know what I'm going to say. You know,
I know
you
you do.
don't need to.
I know you do.
So don't please don't say that. I don't question my forwards. I call.
No, I'm talking about the fan
Richarlison
base as a whole, Alex. Our fan base as a whole.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And there was people twerking for Richarlison that people want Tottenham want him to stay now. They want him to stay. Sorry, ridiculous. I'm sorry. The thing is though, Matt. The thing is, yeah. I think the excuses wear thin when I see people like Vardy. You know what I mean? Vardy's not like a big striker, but he's, he uses, so, and he plays up front on his own. He's played up front a long time as well. You know what I mean? At an older age.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me at the moment, I'm sorry, it's not me having a go at someone. I just want to see him. The thing is, unfortunately, I'm now looking at if you're going to say that you're world class, you've got to be up that level. You know what I mean? And be able to adapt. You know what I mean?
But that's not the question. The question isn't about whether he's world class. We know he's a good player.
Yeah.
We know he's a very good player. But the question is, why are we questioning Son when we've got 5 other potential donkeys at the club? We have to be patient with the others.
He's up there. He's supposed to be up there. That's the point. You know what I mean? It's like, but I'm not questioning because we're not saying he's not a good player. No, but we know that he can be better than he is. You know what I mean? And if he's looked as this guy that is world class, right, from our fan base, he should be able to adapt to different positions. That's the point. We're not saying we're not questioning the other strikers. No, because they're useless. I will get rid of most of our strikers tomorrow. Yeah. Someone said on someone else's show, said it was I'm going to say his name because I love him, Sava. Yeah, said I wouldn't like the midfield as well, and I agree with him. I'll be honest with you, Maddison been shocking. Sorry,
that's what I'm saying.
Shocking.
We don't question him, but we question Sonny. That's exactly the point I'm making.
Kick up the backside as well. Bentancur needs a better, even though I like his jip and he's growing on me. Right, he needs to do better as well. This is the thing. This is the problem. Yeah. But this has been the problem all the time. Is the competition's not been great. Yeah, you love the Argentinian Tom Carroll, Lo Celso. Yeah, but whenever he doesn't get a chance. But you're saying he plays well, but Ange doesn't like him. Again, show me again what is Ange doing on the training ground right now, coaching wise, because at the moment I don't see the correlation. You know what I mean? So this is the thing. This is a question mark on the manager for me. This is where the question mark comes on the manager. Oh yeah,
sorry,
but Colin. Sorry. I can't listen to this about we can't adapt. I'm sorry. This is where we're deflecting here.
Who says that?
I'm sorry. If we're gonna start, but if we're gonna put it up here, yeah,
Colin Turner.
Colin Turner says if you're gonna say that he's up here, right? Okay, well you can adapt. You know what I mean? You find a way. World-class players find a way. Yeah, they find a way because they've got the quality to be able to adapt and try and make the position their own. That's the point I'm making. Yeah, there's a difference between a world-class player and just a great player. And the world-class players are able to adapt.
This is a bonkers statement. We have one of the best midfield and defensive players in the league. Who's that?
I don't
know. Who are you talking about? There is no data to back that up. It's just a wild comment.
Well, it's not even data because I don't see it.
But one of the best defensive players in the league, we wouldn't concede 61 goals. That's for sure. Unless you're talking about Van der Ven, then he's not a midfielder, he's a centre-back. If you're talking about Van der Ven, yeah, he's a good player. But I don't know. I always find it strange, the Sonny one. I just think that we're going after the wrong player.
We're not going after him. I'm not going after him.
No, you know what I mean, Alex. Criticise him, question him. Yeah, every player should be. But I always feel that he's at the top of the list and the rest just get this kind of free pass. But anyway, that said, there was one more question, but I've lost it. I've lost the freaking question. Guys, if anyone's got a question, put it in and I will just do it because I've lost the question that I wanted to cover. My fault. Sorry.
Look, I think that there is a case to say a player that scores 17 Premier League goals in a season has delivered. There is a case. There is a case for that. But I think where Son in the games has looked ineffective is in ball retention and being that focal point. Sometimes that number 9 has to do that thankless task when you're under pressure. He has to say, hit me, I'll get hold of the ball, we'll get ourselves up the pitch, I'll buy a couple of free kicks and get us back into the game. And because Son doesn't like the physical aspect of the game, he kind of hesitates. You see, he hesitates to show for the ball. He's not the archetype centre forward that says, hit me. I don't care what's behind me. Get it into me early. I'll get hold of the ball. So that part of the game is not natural to him. So that's why when the fan watches, sometimes the ball goes into Son and he gets dispossessed quickly because he's already thinking, where's the centre half? Where he doesn't naturally back in and say, you can kick me all day, I'm going to keep hold of this ball. So there's elements of the number 9 position which is not natural at, but you cannot get away from the fact the guy scored 17 Premier League goals in a season. And that's, you can't sneeze at that. So Ollie Watkins, Haaland, and Trossard. How many did Trossard get?
I don't know.
Trossard got double digits. He was 13 or 14, I think.
So it'd be interesting who other than Haaland and Watkins.
Oh, sorry, Matt. You talking about the Premier League?
Yeah.
But by the way, I'm harsh with Haaland because I call him above average John Carew without any goals. So, like, for me, me being harsh with Song is nothing compared to being harsh with Haaland. You know what I mean?
So in terms
and by
of
the way,
goals,
again, people agree with me again because he saw Roy Keane after he had an absolute stinker against Arsenal. Or was it? What was it? It was one game. He had a stinker, and even Roy Keane said he needs to do more. So sorry, again, I say the truth. People don't like it, but then people start to agree with me again. There you go.
He's a goal
Don't
scorer.
need to say
Holland's a goal scorer. He's a goal scorer.
He's a goal scorer, but without the goals, he's above average John Carew. He's proven it how many times? Sorry.
The top goal scorers this season in the league were Haaland on 27, Cole Palmer on 22, although a lot of those were penalties, Isak on 21, and then it was joint fourth on 19 was Foden, Watkins, and Solanke. Solanke had a good season. He was probably the surprise one and Cole Palmer. They were the two surprise packages. But listen, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Graham's just told us Mikey Moore has just scored for England to make it 1-1 versus Portugal. I was bigging him up earlier. If anyone was watching, I was talking about Mikey Moore. Not surprised. He's a very good player. Guys, still check the big chances missed this season. I think Brennan Johnson was top of the list for Spurs. I've got the list somewhere here. I had it somewhere here. Deleted it. Sorry, I've deleted it. I had it. I covered it on the show on Monday. All right, look, we'll do one more question, then we're done. Serious question from Louis. Haven't we hammered and pressurized multiple managers already? We need to be patient with Ange through peak and downs. It doesn't work like that, though, does it? It doesn't work like that.
He's not listening.
Can I just clarify? I stood by Conte when fans bashed him. I stood by Mourinho when fans wanted him out. I stood by Poch when fans wanted him out. I'm standing by Ange. No one here's saying Ange out. We're not bashing Ange. I bash our transfers, which are controlled from above, and I only question the manager when it comes to their recruitment in terms of what they accept. If the club say, here's Veliz, here's Werner, here's Johnson, and the manager's like, okay, it's not going to work. Because Conte is the only one that said, this isn't okay, Tottenham. You need to change. Even Mourinho was a yes man. Even Mourinho accepted Doherty's, Vinicius's, Rodon's. I remember when we signed all these players, Mourinho said, we've been backed, now it's us to deliver. Well, hold on, you're a yes man then. So a yes man doesn't work. That's
Louis,
my
it's just an easy way to just answer this, right? Louis, if that is the case with pressurizing managers, why is the board not coming out and saying, this is our man, Ange, this is our man? Why are we not hearing nothing from the board? You're having a go at us, who've got no influence on getting the manager, not getting the manager, not sticking with the manager. We didn't sack the managers after how many years? We haven't sacked the managers, and you're having a go at us. But you're not having a look at the people that are supposed to own, who supposedly believed in the manager, and they've sacked them. Yeah, and again, ask the question again: why are we not hearing anything from the club? Arsenal proved right now, even now, they've proved my point again. They've said we still back Arteta. No pressure on them, but they've said we still back Arteta. We see nothing. We've seen absolutely nothing. And you're telling me to believe. And don't tell me just because I'm a fan. Yeah, because I pay my money. That shows I'm a fan. Yeah, that's tangible support. So don't talk to me about being a fan that I need to just say it. Yeah, I show it by money. When I pay membership every single week. When I pay my tickets every single week. Because I don't have a season ticket. So that's a fan. That's me being a fan. Yeah? So don't talk to me about, we're pressuring the manager. Tell your board to say something, put a statement out and say they believe the manager. That's a start. After 23 years. Yeah? But you're not going to do it. Yeah? So don't tell me to believe the manager when they don't say anything and that's it. That's all they just say and that's it. Back to you still, I'm done.
I agree with Alex. I agree with what he just said there. I don't disagree with anything he said. I fully agree with it. I couldn't have put it better than myself. A user, super chat. The board have made this club a laughing stock. Levy. Again, I agree. But there are fans that will say no. There's different reasons behind it. And as long as we've got our Tottenham back and the money's good. And again, this goes back to what I said earlier. Fans are split. But look, we are going to wrap it up, guys. I'm going to let everyone have their final say before we call it a night. If you want to know where you can find more of Mr. Box Office, the link I did put it up earlier. I'll put it back again. There it is. It's at the bottom of the screen. Check him out. Subscribe, like, follow his videos. Always puts out truthful stuff from his art.
Exclusive video. Why I think Ange's going to walk at the end of the season. Exclusive on the channel right now.
Careful what you say, because last time you made these comments, you ended up having to wear an Arsenal shirt, Alex. So just calmer.
I'm not going to do a bet for an Arsenal shirt for the next time anyway, but yeah, go on. Thank you, Steph, for inviting me anyway.
Don't make any bets.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for inviting me, and big up Matt, by the way. Love your shows, mate. I might not comment, but I do watch. And I love
no
that
respect.
You got a segment on the show. Thank you, Stell.
Yeah, always, man. Matt, your final words before we wrap it up.
Yeah, listen, kind of a strange season with everything that happened. Just pleased that we've kind of got some sort of a connection back, because this time last year, can you remember where we were as a fan base in May 2023? It was toxic. So yeah, I'm pleased that there's some sort of connectivity. There's still a lot of work to do on the pitch, off the pitch, and in the fan base. Guys, I just really thankful for the invite and everybody that contributed on the stream. before you go, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you think you have, just check and press the button again. It costs nothing to do so. And I'm hoping for big things in the summer. I really am. I'm hoping for a positive summer in the transfer window, and let's see where it takes us. And keep your eyes peeled to Stel and Alex's shows, because they do a lot of hard work that goes unnoticed. And everybody stay safe and enjoy your bank holiday.
Big up, Matt, as always. Alex, plug away, man.
Well, it's like I said, it's Mr. Box Office TV. I'll be going on tour soon to Exotic Place. A spoiler alert, I'm wearing the shirt. So yeah, you'll see some more videos, more lighter content as well. Because to be honest with you, like I said before, I mean, I'm not going to change my opinion, but you're going to see a little bit more of a lighter side and see more cultural side of what really makes Mr. Box Office tick, and that's it. You know, and that's it. You know what I mean? You know, because we all like that soca music, like they say. You know what I mean? So yeah, and that's it. And enjoy your bank holiday, enjoy the sun, and life's too short, like they say every single time. You know what I mean? So enjoy it as much as you can, and that's it with your loved ones, and that's it. That's all I'll say, and that's it. Back to you. Still, I'm done.
You could do a live stream in Jamaica drinking rum and barbecued fish.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. It's like I say, it's a spoiler. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to spoil it to the audience. You know what I mean? You know, because I'm all about that music, like they say. But anyway, moving on.
All right, make sure you check it out, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Big up to a user for the super chat earlier on. Thank you very much, my friend. We will be back on Monday with a show for sure at some point. If not, it will be moved on to Tuesday because the bank holiday weekend, if everyone's busy, I've got a wedding all weekend, so I probably won't be able to be there. So check that out. I'll be live with Stefan on Tuesday. And anyway, just keep an eye on the channel, this channel and The Pitch, which is a joint channel I'm doing with Ashmatic, Marlon, Mari, Connor. Check that one out. Otherwise, guys, big up. Take care. And have a wonderful weekend, whatever you've got planned, bank holiday weekend. If you don't live in the UK, enjoy your weekend anyway. And we're out of here. Peace.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.